Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and today I'm going to show you this adorable little card that I made, and I made it using the Meant to Be stamp set and the Be Mine stitched framelits, which coordinate with that. And although it looks like it's a Valentine's Day card, Valentine's Day stamp set, which it is, you can do so much more with it. And that's what my stamp class last weekend was about, using all these hearts to do cards other than Valentine's Day card. And the coordinating die set has all of these great hearts, and we're going to use this little scalloped heart here. And it also has this intricate heart, this border, flowers, a couple other borders, this great little one that punches out a bunch of hearts. And then we have this little one. I don't know, you could call it maybe some greenery, but we're going to use that today as well. So let's put this aside, and let me tell you what we have for paper. I did a mix of Real Red and Poppy Parade. And I like the little contrast. I didn't want it so matchy-matchy. So here's my Poppy Parade, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Then I have a piece of Whisper White, which is retired, discontinued. It's been replaced with Basic White, which I don't have, but I do understand that it is. It has the same finish on it as the Whisper White, and the only difference, other than the name, is the fact that the Basic White is a tiny bit brighter than the Whisper White. So I have the Whisper White that's cut 4 by 5 1/4, and that's simply for the inside of my card. Then for the outside pieces, I have another piece of Whisper White, which is 3 1/4 by 4 5/8, and then I have 2 scraps of paper. This one is a yellow gingham, and it's also retired, but I had it in my stash, and I thought that it looked really cute with the strawberry. It comes from the Gingham Gala set that was out last year. You could use anything. You could use a current floral print. You could use anything. But I liked the look of that. And then I have a little piece of Daffodil Delight, which is 3 by 1 5/8. And for scrap paper, I have Real Red and Garden Green. So without further ado, let's get cracking on how we made this card. I'm going to put my sample right up there. So I have my smaller Whisper White, and I'm going to attach my 2 small pieces. So I have the gingham, and I'm going to apply some of my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to attach that in the top, and it's probably 1/8 of an inch border on either side. Then I do have this piece of Daffodil Delight, which I've already done it because this was part of a kit from my class, a leftover kit. I ran it through the Big Shot using the Subtle Dynamic Textured Impressions folder. And so it has this nice texture on it. And now I'm going to attach that to my card. And I'm going to butt it up against the gingham and just drop it down. Now I have a piece of twine, thick twine, and this is Real Red. It was part of a combo pack, I think. I don't remember, but if you don't have twine, you could certainly use a thin ribbon or anything else. So I'm just going to make a little knot off to the left here. And I do like the way it frays. It just adds to the whole beauty of the feel of the card. And I'm going to take my pokey tool, if I can get at it. Here it is. And I'm just going to put a glue dot behind the knotted part of that twine, just so that it stays where it's supposed to stay. Let me move over here more. Okay, and there we go. All right, roll that a little bit so that it doesn't stick out and catch on anything else. All right, so now I'm going to attach that to my card base. Pretty simple so far, right? And here is my Poppy Parade, and I'm going to drop that right in the middle. Now, this today is the maiden voyage for me. I haven't used this yet, of my brand new mini Stamp and Emboss machine. Just took it out of the box this morning. So I'm going to turn it this way so the handle faces me. I'm going to bring that in shot here and focus. And I'm going to drop the 2 plates down. And this is what I really like about it, that it stores up. Because, you know, crafters, we have a lot of stuff. And we need a lot of room, right? So it comes with all of the plates that you will need. Here's the package here, the packing thing. You have 1 plate that's marked number 1. You have 2 plates that are marked number 2. You have 1 plate that's marked number 3 and 1 plate that's marked number 4. And what I like is it tells you right on the plate what you're using it for. So number 4 tells you use with 3D embossing folders. Well, I'm not using that today, so I'm not going to use plate number 4. Number 3 says use with standard embossing folders. I'm not embossing today, so I'm not using that. Number 2 doesn't say anything on it, so let's put that aside. Number 1 says use with thin dies. That's what I'm using. And then it goes on to show me what the sandwich should be. So it shows me that I need plate number 1, plate number 2, then I need my paper and my die, which I will put together in a second, and then plate number 2 again, and then I can run it through. So here we go, following directions, plate number 1, plate number 2, and then I'm going to bring in my 2 little pieces here. I have my garden green, and from that I am going to die cut this that looks like we're going to use it as our flowers, as our leaves. And then I'm going to, I'm going to turn this way so I can fit them both in the middle. And then I'm going to use a piece of real red, and from there I'm going to die cut this scalloped heart. And then I'm going to put plate number 1 on top of it again. I do understand that they have a magnetic plate that you can buy. I don't have that yet. Like I said, I just got this yesterday. And now I'm going to run it through. I have to stand up, I guess. I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. I'm going to hold on. My maiden voyage. Oh, there we go. Here we go. A little snug, which is just how it should be. And because my greenery is a little, has a lot of intricacy to it, I'm going to go backwards on it. Now, let me get my seat behind me so I don't fall. And I'm going to take everything out, keep my fingers crossed. Like I said, this is the first time I'm using it. Here's my little red heart, and that pops out beautifully. And now I have to be careful with this one here because I am going to use everything from this. Here is the die, and you can see everything is still intact there. I'm just going to pop everything out. Of the die. Wow, that's really nice and snug in there. Okay. Just give that one more push over here. Okay, so there is my greenery. And then I need all of these little pieces. So I'm going to pop them all out and make sure I don't lose any of them. Okay, They're all out, and there they all are. Okay, now I'm going to bring my card back in, and I'm going to attach all of my greenery to my card. And for that, I'm going to use my trusty Zig glue pen. And I'm looking for my silicone pad. I used it yesterday. There it is. All right, so I'm going to turn my greenery over. That's the back side of it. And I'm going to apply my glue pen all along the edges. And I do want to get a good amount of adhesive on that. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to lay it along the top of my heart. And it's already starting to look like a strawberry, isn't it? Now I'm going to come in with all 5 of my little pieces here. And I know this is kind of difficult. And I'm going to fill all of these wells with adhesive. And then I'm just going to drop the coordinating cutout in there. And I have a pair of tweezers that I'm going to use. So this one's going to go right in here. I'm going to drop it down and give it a push. Then I have this really narrow one that looks like it belongs right there. Yep. Oh. And then I have this one that I think belongs right here. And you know, if they don't fit in perfectly, that's not a problem. It's nature's beauty. There you go. And my last one I'm going to put right here. Yep. Last one's going to give me a hard time, right? Try that again. I'm going to drop that right in there. And there we go. Doesn't that look like a great little strawberry? Now we don't need that tiny little one right there, and I'll show you why. Then I've cut myself this tiny little sliver, and I'm just going to use that as the stem for my strawberry right here. Okay, it's going to go like that. So I'm going to turn my strawberry over, and I'm going to apply some more adhesive. And press my stem down, and then turn it over just so that I see where it's going to end up being, okay? And I'm good with that positioning right there. So I'm gonna press it together so that it stays. Now I'm gonna bring in my mini glue dots, which I just had my hands on. Good grief, Anna. Oh, there they are. Now, because this strawberry is going to go on top of this thick twine, I want to be sure that I place my dimensionals on the top part of the strawberry and on the bottom part, so it will straddle my twine. So here we go. One's going to go right up there, and it's also going to help hold on to my green stem. And one down the bottom. Remove the backings. And like I mentioned, I'm going to straddle my twine right in between the two of those. And I'm going to put it at an angle. I'm going to bring it in just a tad bit more. Okay? And then I'm going to just take a small rhinestone. And you know me, I have to blink it up somehow, right? And I'm going to cover that little hole right there. Now that is cute in and of itself. Now I'm going to use, because I'm using the meant to be coordinating pieces, I'm going to use one of the stamps from here. You could use a stamp from anywhere. If you were going to give this for a birthday present and you were going to accompany it with strawberry shortcake or something berry themed, I would put happy birthday there. Or if you were going to give it to someone who just loves berries for their birthday, happy birthday, thinking of you. You could use whatever you want, but I'm going to use the Just For You from that stamp set simply because that's the stamp set I'm using. And so I have my Poppy Parade, and I've mounted my stamp, and I'm just going to stand up for this because I want to get good pressure on this, and I'm going to put it off to the side here. Just make sure that I'm nice and straight, and go straight down and straight up, and there we go. Now, because when I did this for my class, I'm doing my classes virtually now because of COVID. When I make my kits up, I can't include anything that's stamped. So, and some of my ladies are a little timid about stamping right on their designer series paper. So here is something that I told them we could do. This little piece here, right? It was a good sized piece. Before I put this together, from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, which I use a lot because I use these. It has all these nesting scalloped rectangles. What I did is from this piece here, I die cut this, okay? And then this is gonna have a hole in it, obviously. After you put it together, no one's gonna see that hole. But the end result is that you have this great tag. If you stamp on this, or if you're timid about stamping on this, let me say that again. If you're timid about stamping on this, or if you stamp on it and it doesn't come out quite right, because you've cut this out from there, you can stamp right on that and put it right there. And no one would be onto what happened. So you can have it both ways. This way here, by cutting this out of this small piece of paper here, or this way here, stamping right on top of your paper. That's a little, if you don't use your Stamparatus, I mean, if you do use your Stamparatus, that would be a great time to use it, because if it doesn't come out quite right, you could restamp it. You could re-ink your stamp. I have a Stamparatus. Sometimes I just wing it and say, hope, keep my fingers crossed that it's going to come out. And so far it has been coming out right. So now I've jinxed myself. So there are the two different ways that you can do that. And I just think that is an absolutely adorable strawberry. And it was made from heart. So you could also take your black Stampin' Right marker and make little dots on the strawberry. And then all we have left to do is attach the white piece on the inside. And once you decide what you're going to use the card for, then you could start doing that. You could do that. So I hope you liked this project. If you have any questions at all, just keep this here so you can see the two different ones. If you have any questions at all about the project or any of the products I use, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And I do want to remind you that Stampin' Up! Is in the middle of its celebration, which is running the month of January and February. If you make a purchase, anything $50 and up, for every $50 level you hit, you get a free item from their celebration catalog. And they do have some really great products in there. If you don't have a demonstrator with whom you work and you don't have a catalog and you'd like one, certainly contact me and I'll be glad to pop one in the mail for you. And also during the month of January, I personally am running a freebie of sorts. For every $50 order that you spend in my store, I will send you a card made with one of the products you purchased. So if you were to purchase this Meant to Be set, I would make you a card using the Meant to Be bundle. If you purchase a product that I don't own, I will make you a card using a comparable product. So that's a way to buy a product and get some ideas and have a jumping off point so you know where to start with your new toys. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you have any questions, like I said, give me a shout out at stampwithanna.blogspot.com and I'll be glad to help. Thanks so much, and be sure to come back tomorrow because I'll have another project using this stamp set in a way other than Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.